All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Our Things podcast. I'm Jay Teagues, your running coach, certified mindset coach, coming to you live from Florida, and I'm in studio with the lovely Angi Bertrand. Angi, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great. It's Monday. I'm ready to go forth and kick some Taji miles. You know what? Since we're on
Yeah, how's
LinkedIn,
Taji
don't
going
want to get us
for you?
kicked off, but great. It's going great. I got 7 miles in yesterday. I am focusing on, yeah, okay, so people that hear 100 miles in the month of February are like, there's no way I can do that. Bro, I'm doing it walking because I'm not trying to injure myself. And I know me, and I'm coming back from being injured and not steady, like consistently training. And so I'm walking most of my miles, and I've got it all mapped out through the end of the month. I'm doing it. So there's no excuse, really. Make time
Okay,
for it.
you're
You
not
just
working out. Now you do. Oh, that's shit. Myth debunked. We're debunking myths this morning. No, you do what you can, and I'm having like a hip impingement right now, so some of my miles are going to be walking. I had to walk a little bit yesterday, but you do what you
Mhm.
can. You do what you can with what you
Yeah.
got, and that's it. I was able. I'm getting a slow start because we had to go to Tybee Island, and it was Run Fest in Tybee Island, and we're part of the Ultramax crew out of Columbia, so we had to go time. And although we saw a lot of runners running, we didn't get to run much because it's a full blown. I don't know. We're just nonstop working for like 48 hours. Um, that was super cool. We got a couple miles in day one. We had to fly into Tybee. And then Run Fest is awesome. If you ever get a chance to go, you should go. If you love medals, you're going to clean up so well because they do a 5K on Friday night, and then they
Mhm.
do a 10K first thing the next morning, followed by a half marathon, followed by a 2.8 mile beach run, followed by a 1 mile run. So if you can participate, they're all individual races, or you can do them all and get 6 medals, which is super cool. And
Nice.
it's a really cool event in a really cool location. So highly recommend it. But we got to kick that off, and now we're in Florida. We got a couple miles in yesterday. I got a 7 mile bike ride in on the beach cruiser, which was pretty cool. So we're gonna get some more
Ooh, that
miles in
sounds
today.
nice. Yeah.
In this warm,
Right
we're gonna
on.
take advantage of this warm weather. So, but hey, for all just on the business end of things, for all of y'all watching, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes of the podcast. Leave us a review; they go a long way to helping others find our podcast. We're getting a lot of great reviews. People love what we talk about, and share it with someone that you know if you find it useful. This episode is sponsored by the Do Our Things Nation. We're a community living life on offense. We empower people to upgrade their life through mindset and movement. We have monthly challenges, merch that inspires, in-person events, running coaching, mindset performance coaching, and book club. It's a great way to network, learn frameworks, be a part of challenges, and have that accountability to upgrade your life. So go to doorthingsnation.com and you can learn all about what we do. And yeah, upcoming events. We're doing Taji 100 this month, and we'll just go to the website. You'll see all the events that we got coming up. We got go to doorthingsnation.com, click on challenges and events, and you'll see everything that's coming up. So as far as this week, so Angi and I wanted to talk about myths, and we found an
Mhm.
article in runnersworld.com that had 13 common myths. And as I read this, I called Angi. I'm like, look, I saw something in here I'm finding in the health and wellness space, there seems to be like new articles that come out all the time that are constantly contradicting each other. Like, a glass of wine is good. And then like a few months later, you'll see, well, a glass of wine is bad for you. Ice baths are good. Ice baths are bad. And it's like, well, how are we supposed to navigate this constant conflict of information? And we live in this incredible time where we have so much information at our fingertips, which is amazing. But in the health and wellness space, especially, I think it causes so much confusion. And we just kind of wanted to roll through some of these, talk about our perspectives on it, maybe give you, the listener, some ideas to think about. And we would love to hear back what you think about. If there was a specific myth that we talk about today that you have a strong feeling about, or how do you navigate the challenges of information overload? What are your thoughts on that, Angi?
So my thoughts are Yes, the internet makes things incredibly um at your fingertips. Like there's whatever you need to know, you can go Google it, look it up, right? But the problem is now everybody's an expert. You got social media, and you really just need to find a credible source for your information, and you need to make sure that this your source is up to date on the newest and latest studies, that they are getting their information from facts and studies, and not just "Mm, well, this is what worked for me." Now, don't get me wrong, sharing what works for you helps others, but you can't take that to the grave. And you always need to understand that what worked for one person doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for you. So I'm just to quickly answer your question, get a credible source, make sure they're up to date on the latest findings and the latest you know things that have been done to figure out what you're trying to learn and know and understand, and then apply it and see if it works for you.
I think something you said there kind of reminded me, like people are very, very, if they have a health and wellness method that works for them, they'll die on the mountain, like
Hmm.
like just trying to get everyone else to believe that that is the way. And
Yeah, yeah,
I see a lot of people get in a lot of heated debates, and what, like you said, what works for one person may not work for someone else. The human body is really, it's so incredible how many people are on this planet, and we're so uniquely different from one another. And
yeah.
so you just gotta figure out what works for you, and then stay on top of the research. Find credible people, to your point. So let's get through
Yeah.
some of these myths. Let's see
Okay.
what we say, what we come up with. So the first one: there's an ideal running form that will solve all of your problems. There's an ideal running form that will solve all of your problems. And really, what this one is talking about is that our running mechanics are probably a result of our anatomy, our injury history, and running history. I'm a pose method running instructor. You are as well, aren't you, Angie?
No, I'm not pose. Mm-mm.
I thought you were pose. Okay. Um, I, that is specifically a method to teach a person how to run the pose method, which is a very, very specific methodology, and it does work for a lot of people. But there's also like the chi running method. There's a few different like techniques that'll help you.
Hmm.
Um, but what I found with runners is it can be incredibly difficult to adjust someone's body mechanics when they have years and years of I mean, uh, like they could have running related injuries. They could
Hmm.
have, our anatomies are different. Like I'm 6'4", I'm kind of a Clydesdale. You have a completely different anatomy for you.
Hmm.
You have some people that tend to be heel strikers versus, midfoot strikers. And so these techniques can help you improve your form, but there's not like one specific form that's going to solve every runner's problems. And there's a lot of, when I think of this as well, there's a lot of methodologies and thoughts in shoe, like choosing the right shoe.
Hmm.
Do you choose a zero drop? Do you go with the Hoka, running on pillows edition? There's a
Yeah.
wide variety of different things. And once again, I think in this realm, you should work on form, aspects of your form, but there's not one form that's going to solve all of your ailments. If you have, knee challenges and back challenges and things like that, form alone is not going to solve your problem.
Yeah, and I also think it's, ideal worth looking into if you are having some type of pain in your knees or your hips or your joints. I really think you should start with a physical therapist. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, have a really good physical therapist, and he stays up on the latest scientific findings, but he's very much, let's start at your feet and figure out what's wrong there and work our way up. And a lot of times it just comes down to strengthening the muscles, starting from the bottom, going up, and just, maybe your muscles, you need to work on that, versus
Yeah.
on trying to work on how you're changing the actual way you run.
Yeah. Flexibility. I know a few years back when I did 75 hard and I started doing yoga more consistently, it unlocked my, posterior chain. And I was able, for the longest
Mhm.
time, I couldn't run more than a half marathon without like complete injury, like shin splints. But when I unlocked, my hip flexors and that chain, I'm now able to run, it enabled me to run like a couple 50Ks. And I've also learned that when we go to the gym to lift, a lot of my lifting was, deadlifts and squats and big major muscles. And what I've learned is that doing some of those sillier exercises like the Suzanne Summers, like, leg openers and clams and things like that, they look kind of silly, but you have a lot of like smaller muscles in there that are getting worked when you run, and you've got to strengthen those, and you can't really attack those when you are, doing the bigger lifts. And so doing some of that work, that's not, it's not going to make your legs look amazing, but they're going to help you with your ability to run and stay injury free. And doing that work is incredibly important.
Absolutely.
There's a little routine I have my runners do, the strength and mobility. If you look on YouTube, the SAM routine, it's like 10 or 15 minutes. Like, it's not exciting, but it does keep you injury free, and it works all those little muscles and stretches out all those little ligaments that you got. Because I'm having issues right now. Like, I got a hip impingement, and it's like, if I'm laying on my side and doing a leg opener, I'm finding I've got some weak muscles in there, and it's causing some challenges right now. So I'm working on that. But yeah, physical therapist, chiropractor.
Yeah.
Find people and find people that are medical professionals who run, if you can. That's get it.
That makes a huge difference, because I had a GP, a general practitioner, who was a runner, and I'm so sad that he retired. But when I would go to him, it was never, well, you just need to stop running. You're just going to have to stop running. It was always, let's figure out how to get you better so you can continue movement, so you can continue running, because he knew movement is it is. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and Sean Stevenson, from the Model Health Show, and he's a doctor, and he is just, they used to prescribe bed rest as a way to get better. And they've just found out over the years that is absolutely positively not true. I mean, okay, yeah, in some cases, right? But in most cases, movement is key. Movement is key to healing. Movement is key to longevity. Movement is key. And so when these, I'm not going to go on a tangent about the medical professionals that tell you to stop moving because you're in pain. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So let's move on before I start doing that.
I will say one thing. A few years ago, I had a doctor that told me, you're getting in your 40s now. Maybe you should start to take it easy, because I had some knee pain. And I'm like, you might as well just put me off the pasture. If I can't run, just amputate it and give me another leg, because this is my way of life. I'm not slowing down. Like, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
So help me figure that out. And this guy was overweight. I saw one before I got in the room. He was drinking a Mountain Dew. Like, here's a health professional. I'm like, I can't take you serious. Like, so I'm going to get another opinion. So to that point, it's incredibly important to find medical professionals that are runners themselves, because they get it. Yeah, that exercise.
Yes.
All right, here's one. Running ruins your knees. How many times have you heard that one? I've heard that one. Oh my gosh. Running ruins your knees. Fact, according to this article, your knees get stronger. Running actually protects your knees against the development of osteoarthritis, while non-light runners have about a third of the rate of knee osteoarthritis as sedentary individuals. The more research to learn about cartilage, the elastic tissue that protects our joints, the more those results make sense. Cartilage is like any other living structure, that it gets stronger with continual loading. And so when you run, you stress the cartilage in your joints, and like muscles, the cartilage recovers and strengthens after workouts. So bottom line is, it goes back to, I think movement is good for the body. Yes, running can be hard on the knees. The running is hard on your body in general, but this is where, muscle strength and conditioning and flexibility work is incredibly important to do while you run, so you mitigate the injury. When I tell my runners, like, those warm-up drills that you do, the lunges and the work afterwards, it's like brushing your teeth or paying your taxes. You may not like doing it, but it's going to keep you in the game. It's going to keep you injury-free. No one enjoys brushing their teeth. You don't look forward to it, but it's work that you have to do. Brush the teeth you want to keep is what I tell my kids. And So, and it's that work that will keep you running. But yeah, running is hard on the body, but also not running and working out is also hard on the body. So
Choose
choose
your
your hard.
heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But also, and I think that goes back to running, knowing what surfaces your body feels best running on, because some people running on pavement, um, that has a little bit more of an impact, and maybe that doesn't feel so great on your joints, or it makes you feel more tired. So maybe you need to run on a trail, a non-pavement, non-concrete surface. Um, if you if you feel like when you're running that you're having that pain in your knees or your joints, then that's what goes back to, that's maybe when you might want to consider, what does my form look like? Do
Yeah.
I need to tweak that a little bit? How can I tweak that and do it naturally and make that and integrate that into my running pattern as a habit versus just trying to change your form because you just want to go faster, right? I mean, I think that's where these little things go hand in hand, where they marry one another, and that's where you start looking at making those little tweaks and changes, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely. I think
Yeah.
one of the quickest tweaks that you could make for runners that I tell is work on your cadence. Like cadence is how many times your foot strikes the ground in a minute. You want to shoot for 180, which is super super high. Kind of goes back to the pose methodology. The idea is the more that you turn over, the more your whole like your legs and your body is like a shock in a car, and the more efficient you can make that, the less strain and stress that you put on any particular body part. So if you can increase your efficiency, it can help reduce the injury rate and wear and tear on certain components of your leg, just like your car. So
Hmm.
you're gonna like this next myth because we kind of hit this one off right off the bat. Walking is weak.
I knew it. I knew that's the one. I was like, I hope he chooses this one next. I hope he chooses
Yes.
this one next.
Walking is weak. Fact. Walking can indeed make you faster. Angie, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Walking can make you faster. If you don't know about the Galloway method, um, you should. You should look it up. The Galloway method. It is walking and running. You walk for a specific amount of time, and you run for a specific amount of time. And it's so funny because it's so hard to get people to understand that you are still a runner if you incorporate walk breaks in your running. What? And
What?
wait, what? Yeah, I can't believe it. No, I'm not a runner. I had to walk. Yeah, you're still a runner. You're still a runner. Um, Walking during aid stations, it helps you recover a little bit faster. When you do interval running, and I'm talking about interval running, I'm not talking about all out 100, doing like just max every time. I'm talking about uh just going out and running 45 seconds and walking for 30, for 10 miles. That helps um, that lactic acid not build up as quickly in your muscles. That helps you recover a lot faster. And when you incorporate interval running, which is incorporating walking into your running cycle, um, if you want to go out and you want to run a marathon faster, you can run faster, or a half marathon, or a 10K, or a 15K. You can actually run faster doing this method, doing the Galloway method. Um, so yeah, it's one of my favorites. It is my
Yeah,
favorite.
and when I have runners do their quality sessions too, like a slow jog or even a walk can help you recover in between those intervals. So when you can downshift and take that momentary break, you recover quicker, you teach your body to recover quicker, and then you can run harder when you need to run harder. And
Yeah.
uh, and that's one thing, the marathon is incredibly tough because you're running 26 miles on pavement. And I
Hmm.
used to think that, man, because I running a couple marathons, like it's so hard, that ultra runs, like I can't believe people do more than 26 miles. It's actually, to me, it's easier to run a 50K, 6 more miles, than it is a marathon distance. And on because usually when you're running these ultras, they're typically out on trail somewhere. They're off the beaten path. They're
Hmm.
actually easier to run because you can take those momentary walk breaks when you're walking up a hill or down a hill, or and you're not on pavement. And the best runners, in these races, they all walk a little bit. So, and part of the when I do my active recovery day, a 20 to 45-minute swift walk is a really great way to recover the body. So walking is weak is bullshit. We debunked it. It's and you got to let your ego go. That's really what it is. It's if you're afraid to be seen walking, it's your ego getting in the way. No one really cares what you're doing. Just get out there and move the body. And I'm finding it far more enjoyable. I walk in parts of my training, and especially when I'm doing a social run, I want to hang out with my friends, and they're walking or doing intervals. I don't care. I don't care that someone's seeing me. Jay's out there walking. He's what? It doesn't matter. Just move the body. Just move the body.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I love rucking, and that's walking with essentially a weighted backpack. That burns more calories and does a tremendous amount. There's a tremendous amount of value and strength training that goes along with doing that. So walking is weak, debunked.
Yep. Womp
All right, how
womp.
we doing, so? What's that?
Oh no, I was just like womp womp. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see here. What is next? I'm not ready to race. I'm not ready to race. Fact, racing is for everyone, and you don't have to PR to have a good time. A lot of people put a lot of pressure on racing, and that they're just not ready. But I look at racing like this weekend. You've got your people that are hardcore. They're out there trying to get the PR, and they're running hard, and they're on a team, and it can be intimidating. But I love just seeing the people in the back that are just out there. It might be their first race, or they're just out there having a good time, right? So you don't have to PR. It doesn't have to be a challenge. It's about the event and the experience. And for us, as had a lot of experience putting on racing and timing. Yeah, we love watching the competitive runners come through quick. But I also love the mom out there, pushing the stroller, or the person who has cancer that's, one of the last ones across the line. The person that's dropped a whole bunch of weight and is making a change. That's more inspirational. When most of the crowd is gone and the clapping there's no one out there to clap, it's usually those moments at the very tail end of the race that are more emotional. Like Daniel Barnes, when he did the Frog Hill the last couple of years, he lost his legs and, comes across like a few hours after everyone is already gone under the, we bring out a truck with headlights, so we can see him finish. That is so incredibly inspirational. And so you don't have to race to participate in a race. So
I'm just going to say that people who push strollers during a race have superpowers. I pushed my dog several times, my 10-pound dog in her stroller, and I thought I was going to die, much less push multiple 20 or 30-pound humans in a stroller. You all have superpowers, and I'm always in awe of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lacey's running her first marathon in April. She wanted to run a marathon this year, so we chose U.S. Marine Corps because that's been one that's been on our bucket list for a long time. And I'm like, hey, we got enough time to do a marathon beforehand. So before we go for time, and I always tell my runners this: your first race, I don't want you to carry a watch. I don't want you to do anything but just enjoy the moment. And that's what we're doing with Lacey's first one. We decided to go to Nashville because it's the rock and roll. And what better way? And so we're just going to go and just have a good time. There's no time worries. We're just going to go and enjoy the bands that are playing. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, and just go for the party. We're not going for the PR. We're going for the party and the finish. And that's it. That's our point of that particular run. Marine Corps, we might try to go for a little bit. That's probably going to be another one. We're going to enjoy the environment, but then we're going to find one that we can actually go race. And so, yeah, go just have a good time with it. Enjoy it. Enjoy running for what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what other we got time for. Like one more myth.
One more. Right. Okay.
Carbs are good. Carbs are bad. Fat is good. Fat is bad. What do you think about fueling?
Okay. So fueling. Everybody's individual needs are different. You need to find what works for you while training. So your training runs are meant to find out. Well, they're meant to train. Okay. Number one. But two, they're meant to figure out what shoes work best for you, what gear works best for you, what fueling and hydration method works best for you. So you don't change up and do something new on race day. Do not change up and do something new on race day. Do not change up and do something new on race day. Just because you saw it at the expo doesn't mean you need to try it on race day. Okay. It just kills me when people do that. Oh my God. Anyway, fueling. Everyone's different. If you're an intermittent faster, maybe you get up and drink a cup of coffee and you have your water and you go out and you run for an hour and you're good. Like maybe that's how your body operates. Or maybe like me, I get up and drink some water, drink some coffee, have a cheese stick, a handful of nuts, and I'm good for about 45 minutes. And then every 45 minutes, and these are long run days, guys. I'm talking about long run days. Then every 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to have a goo gel pack because that's what works for me and does not upset my stomach. Short runs, less than 3 miles. I've listened to enough podcasts from reliable medical doctors who most people don't need a whole bunch of fuel before a 5K, before 3 miles, unless you're a back of the packer and it's your first one and you're still, if you're going to finish it, it might take you an hour. My first 5K took me 52 minutes. I needed something. I needed a little bit of exercise. It was in the summer. I was losing electrolytes. I was sweating. I was about 100 pounds overweight. And so, yes, in that instance, my body in that moment in time needed extra electrolytes, needed the extra boost. But someone like Jay, who at that time could what is your 5K pace, Jay?
Now I'm probably around a 20
minutes for a 5K.
Yeah, probably that's where I'm at right now.
You probably don't need any extra fuel for a 5K, right?
No,
So so you need to look at the distance you're going. You need to look at your individual specific needs, and you need to tweak that while you are training. That's my.
Yeah, that's what your training runs are all about, is the opportunities to use the same food and fuel and equipment that you're going to use on race day. I know my very first marathon, I was cocky. This is back when I was running. I was still running. It was down to like the 16-minute 5Ks. I was a really fast 5 and 10K runner. And I'm like, marathon, I got this in the bag, right? Okay, I can do this. I did all the wrong things. I got a brand new pair of shoes from the expo. I didn't bring any food because I'm like, they're gonna have food out on the course. They got bananas, they got Propel. I never drank Propel. This is when Propel was like new. I'm good to go. I was good for about the first 13 miles, and then the wheels just fell apart. I completely exploded. I did the run, walk, my feet hurt. I had blisters so freaking bad. And my pride, I was like, man, what is happening to me?
Yeah.
Found some friend of mine gave me a banana and a goo, and that got me by for a little bit. And then later I saw that someone was a bunch of people were pointing at me, and I looked down, I had blood all over my shirt because my nipples were bleeding. Mm-hmm. I was a train wreck. It was an absolute disaster. And I'm like, wow. And just, like in good do hard things fashion, I learned things the hard way. I'm like, okay, I have to learn some methodologies here and train properly. And that's where I learned, okay, don't buy things at the expo. No new equipment on race day. No new equipment on race day. And that goes with adventure racing when I'm cycling or anything. Anytime I've tried anything new, it does not work out. And it goes the same with food and fuel. You got to be very, very careful because you get caught up in the moment. There's people on the sidelines trying to give you food or you've been training for so long, and the body is so fickle sometimes. Some people are more sensitive than others that you got to be careful with that. But we need fuel, and you need to train. And this is one of those things. Some people can take goos. I can't take goos and live off them. Some people can't. This is one of those areas you got to experiment with your body, and you got to do it during training. So
yes.
So carbs are good, carbs are bad, fat is whatever. I don't know. No one knows. I don't think anyone knows.
Yes. That is a yes to that. That is a yes to that. Yes.
Yes. All the things. Yes, they're good. Yes, they're bad. Who knows? Try it. Run your own race. So
yes.
All right. So we're at 7:30, and our favorite part of the day. I've got. Oh, where's my share screen? Bum-ba-da-dun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Maria Tessa Theresa. She's been a part of our Do Our Things Nation group, getting after the 28-day challenge. She made a post yesterday. I'm not a runner, but I'm out here running and enjoying it. And she is having a mental and physical transformation as we speak. And she's been very, very, just very inspirational, active in the group, sharing her journey openly. And I've been following her on Facebook, and she's always posting growth mindset type stuff. So I am inspired by Tessa. So thank you so much for being a part of the group. We're going to send you a shirt for doing hard things and being a role model, because that's part of the challenge. We incorporated this on purpose, is the accountability where you have to post. And the reason being is because it truly, you may not know, someone may not like it, they may not comment, but it does inspire more people. It does reach out to more people than you realize. And it's been inspiring me. So I appreciate you sharing your journey with us. And thank you for being a part of the tribe. We're going to send you a shirt for being freaking awesome. So keep doing hard things.
Yes. Keep doing them.
So that's it. That's all I got for today. Angie, how's your week looking?
About to go get after it. Looking like I got I've got my training runs all mapped out through the end of the month. And I hired a personal trainer. So I've got strength training mapped out. And my super busy focusing on. So if you ask me, continue to invite me places, people, I'm probably going to have to say no, but just know it's only because I'm focusing on my health and wellness.
There you
just
go.
Saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm still smiling. So smile. Make sure you smile. Go make yourself smile. Make someone else smile. Wearing my smile shirt.
It's on your shirt. It's on your smile shirt.
Yes.
Well, for everyone out there, have a kick-ass week. If you have any comments or anything you'd like us to talk about, or anything we missed, or any opinions that you have, we would love to hear about it. So go to doerthingsnation.com, reach out, or DM us directly, and we will see you all in the next episode. Do hard things.